This is Struggle Jennings, Like Father Like Son, featuring Joshua Hedley. And the crazy thing is, I just realized Slum American, of course, is under Yellow Wolf. So Struggle Jennings is one of the artists. Let's see what we get. Good old days. Outlaw.
His father was a gambler, alcoholic, drunk bastard, whatever you wanna call it. Don't like the way he treated mama, cheating in the lies. Find himself becoming the same guy that he despised. Good old boy and an old road runner. Pistol on his waist, he ready to throw thunder. Told him living like that, he won't last that long. Living an outlaw song and trying to prove them all wrong. From the poverty line, but take pride in his hood. Fell in love with a rich girl from Brentwood. Yeah, they had a son, he made a promise to change. He wrote that promise in chalk and it was lost in the heavy rain.
This might break me. This right here is like truly an anthem for every hardworking redneck who's ever had a dad. And it could be any man, honestly, but this right here reminds me so much of Bub. If you guys don't know who Bub is, he's somebody that I've always looked up to, and he's told me so many stories of just these kinds of things. You know, it's not so much that these men were outlaws or bad guys. It just so much the circumstance was they had to bend the law to the point that they would break just to get things done, just to make ends meet, just to get people fed, just to take care of their family. Sure, sometimes a lot of it was for fun, sometimes some of it was stupid, but a lot of times, you know, a lot of the laws weren't made fairly, or they were just dumb. And so men like this, you know, sometimes they didn't have very much education. Like, for instance, Jerry's dad, who worked very hard as a trucker, he only went to the 3rd grade, you know? So when I see these kinds of stories, it just reminds me of all the stories that he told me. Outlaw stories. Good old boy stories. Hopefully I'll remember, and I'll tell you one where they actually got one up on the police, and the police were cool enough to let him go. For once. Not a warning. They had every right to put them all in jail, but they let him go.
They fall upon me as I make my last request. Things my daddy did before me, they're still ringing in my head. Like father, like father, like son. Like father, like father, like son.
He lost his job and his wife in the same week. Whiskey breath claimed defeat when the pain speaks. Phone rings, suicide by gun. He been fighting with the demons and the devil it won. Survived by a mother and a couple of sons. Blood-filled, bullet holes with a picture hung. Too much to bear, mama cries that it ain't fair. Questions linger in the air, answers just ain't there. On her knees as she pleads, Lord, why? Little boy steps up with a look in his eye. Yeah. As the chapter ends, another saga starts. I became a man with the last beat of my father's heart.
Heavy rains, they fall upon me as I make my last request. Things my daddy did before me, they're still ringing in my head. Like father, like son.
Hopefully I won't ever have to say this again, but what men don't understand is this has been going on for quite some time. As generations, come down to it, there's not too many fathers out there in any kind of community, whether it be the Caucasian community, whether it be the black community, Hispanic, it's what he did was selfish. What he did was absolutely selfish. In no way should he have done that. Every child deserves to have both parents. Is that going to happen? No. Is that happening now? In no effing way. Society is a lot worse off now than it was. Technology is better, but fathers are just every bit as important, if not, I hate to say more so. Moms definitely play a big role, but fathers really put that survival instinct into children. Moms, yes, are there to nurture and to love and to make sure, they get plenty of that and, make sure they survive. But the fathers are there for the lessons and for a lot of the things that moms cannot teach. And when that doesn't happen, then those lessons, they just stop. And then you get a lot of what we get now. You get a lot of men who don't know how to be men, and you get punks with no guide, no reason to live, no guide, no moral compass, no sense of self, and those are really dangerous people.
Like father, like son.
Rebel rouser, playing with Peter's gun. I might have hit a home run if I was Jeter's son. But I feel more like Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing the same thing that my daddy died doing. Trying to prove a proud legacy to maintain, staring down at the gravesite bearing the same name. Chasing footsteps to the same storm that swallowed him. Mama home hollering, I shut the door and followed him. Wanted to fill his boots, but I got bigger feet. He never made it past 30, guess I got him beat. Learning how to be a man through the stories around the campfire. They pumped me full of gas and it backfired. Great man did wrong for the right reasons. I still hear his voice, feed him by any means, son. Family first, don't forget where you come from. Life's a knife fight, bring guns for the...
Heavy rains, they fall upon me as I make my last request. Things my daddy did before me, they're still ringing in.
It's almost a romantic, they almost romanticize this kind of, those days are done, those days are done, those days died. The story that happened with Jerry is this. They were kids. Jerry was born in 1945. He knew so much about every war. He knew that he was going to go to war. He had no problem with it. He actually was selected because of how intelligent, genius level he was. And he went to Vietnam, and he saw and he helped both sides to heal, whether it be in surgery, whether teeth pulling, whether to take bullet fragments out of kids' legs, and on and on and on. But a little bit before then, a couple summers, he got to be with his friends, and one friend he had for 50 years, his friend, I still have contact with him. Anyway, Jerry told me that his friend Bill liked to race, and not just any kind of racing. We're talking racing with this big old barrel, and we're talking a barrel of alcohol with two big old straws, one for him and one for Jerry, and they would come down the mountain hauling ass. And Bill kind of always liked racing the police. It was a game for him, and so he would always look in the rear view and look. And to make a long story short, by the time they got down, there was already a bunch of police waiting, so there was nothing they could do. They figured they were gonna die. So sure enough, Jerry and Bill, they had to get on their knees like this and wait for, I guess it was the sheriff that had already called down and had, because they'd been tracking for a while, Jerry and Bill, and because I guess they would do this a lot, and so they had him there at, gunpoint and everything. So when the sheriff came down, sheriff was mad and just threw his hat and was making a whole bunch of ruckus and saying a whole bunch of things, and he said, "What do you got under the hood?" and this and that, and I don't remember car stuff. I'm telling you right now. I just don't. And Bill said, "It's just stock." "Like hell it is. You've got something under that hood and da 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 da. I drive for a living, boy, and all this and that." And he goes, "Well, sir, you ought to change jobs then." Jerry said at that moment, he just about freaking fainted. He looked at Bill like, "I don't know this idiot." At that time, the 4 officers that were holding the boys, basically, they said, "Go ahead and get up." They were just rolling. They were laughing so hard. And the sheriff was like, "No, we're not letting them go." And they go, "Yeah, we are. We are tired of your shit. These boys, 17, 18-year-old boys, showed you up. This kid outraced you off your own mountain, and all you ever talk about is how you're a racer. And this kid showed you up in a stock car. Yeah, they get a warning." So I don't know if days like that exist anymore. Jerry was full of stories like that.
My head, like father, like son, like father, like son.
Like that cycle. Do not resist. Somebody wanted that one too. I can't remember. Alright, guys. I have more to do. Let me see. wanted that one, actually. JM John, I'll go ahead and do that for you. If you're still around, let me know. Sorry I got to talking about stories. You guys, if you guys had known Jer, you guys would have wished he lived forever. Dude was the coolest dude you ever met.